What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? AJ Good here at the House of Masks, where we unbox and review cool shit almost every single day. And do you know what this channel needs? A video ranking Michael Myers masks. This is a video that I've been meaning to shoot for quite some time now, and we are finally in October, so I figured no time like the present. Plus, I've been watching some of my own favorite horror creators who aren't really mask enthusiasts, rank them, and it's honestly driving me fucking insane. I know everyone has their own opinions, but there's one thing that you need to remember. They're all wrong, except for mine. I'm perfect. No, but in all actuality, I do feel like I need to do this list to give it some perspective from the mask universe, instead of just from people who are casual Halloween fans. Not only am I a huge Halloween fan, obviously, with Halloween 2 being my all-time favorite film, Michael Myers being my favorite slasher, and the Halloween series being my all-time favorite franchise, I'm also the mask guy. So with all of that in mind, let's go ahead and jump on into this list. From worst to best, here's my ranking of Michael Myers masks. AJ from the future here, and I'm a fucking idiot because apparently I've already shot this video. I thought it was really weird that I had never ranked Michael Myers masks on my channel, so I decided to search myself on YouTube and found out that I did shoot this 2 years ago. But I rewatched a lot of it. I'm not happy with it whatsoever. I did them from best to worst, which is really weird because typically these lists go from worst to best. So just consider this list, especially now that Halloween 2018 has come out, because this came out before Halloween 2018, an updated list. So hopefully it's like more in depth and all that, and you guys like it better. I know that the production quality has gone up, but clearly I'm still not that smart. So, updated, ranking Michael Myers masks with AJ Good from the House of Masks. Enjoy. Literally any of the H2O masks. They all suck. All 4 of the masks in this film are trash, plain and simple, and I'm putting 4 in quotations because one of these isn't even a mask, it's just CGI over an existing mask. What the fuck? Now I will say that they got really close with the Winston version of this mask that was used in the majority of this film. But this mask is also a great example of how little subtle things can completely ruin the creepiness of something. For instance, the hair. Why? Just why? Why? They could have easily had H1 or H2 style hair on this and it would have helped leaps and bounds, but they just didn't. And I really don't understand because the Winston is technically the closest mask to the original sculpturally since the H4 mask. So how did it turn out so boring and borderline goofy? It just doesn't make sense. And don't get me started on the K and B mask. Side note, I do just want to add in here that I really don't like this movie at all and that I would literally choose watching Resurrection over this.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
I know it's beloved by fans of the franchise, but it's just so boring and lifeless to me. Everything from the cinematography to the story itself to the actors, it's all just like watching a very dull-colored paint dry. I'm sorry, but I just do not get the infatuation with this film. Next up, we have the Halloween 6 mask, and this is another one that I just don't understand. And there are actually people out here that like this one. When I heard Jimmy Champagne say that this was the best since H2, I died a little inside. I'm sorry, Jimmy. It just seriously looks like someone told a child to make a Michael Myers out of Play-Doh. I truly do not understand what the goal with this mask was. It's like it was carved out of a hunk of cheese. Again, the movie doesn't do this poor fella any justice because we're combining this mask with a piss-poor portrayal of Michael Myers, surrounded by easily the worst movie in the franchise. It just doesn't work for me. Halloween 5. Nicolas Cage, Michael Jackson, an alien? What the fuck is this thing? I really don't know if this dude's gonna kill me, steal the Declaration of Independence, or just touch me inappropriately. Granted, it does have the potential to be a scary mask, and granted we know that they life-casted someone else's face for this to get rid of any legal problems that they might have had with William Shatner, but it's just not a Michael Myers mask. Again, terrible movie, not the greatest portrayal of Myers, and this mask, it's a bad time. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I don't really have many negative things to say about this mask, I just feel like we got a better version of it previously. I'm not crazy about the fact that you can see a Frankenstein-sized zombie Myers weird Rob Zombie beard hanging out of the mask. And again, the movie. So yeah, it's okay, but the previous versions are superior. Resurrection. I honestly feel like this mask gets a lot of flack and I can't figure out why. It's definitely the most intimidating from the original timeline since H2. It's very mean, and while a lot of people complain that this literally looks like a mask that was made for Michael Myers as a Michael Myers mask, I kind of like that idea. Not saying Michael Myers literally knocked on Tom Savini's door and said, hey, make me a mask, but the thought that infamous serial killers, especially in today's day and age, age, are somewhat praised and honored in really weird ways. We see tons of true crime merch, and some of those things include masks of infamous serial killers. So if Myers is out there still nabbing masks from local stores, and Michael Myers is a legendary serial killer, there's a good chance he would just cop his own signature mask, and this is probably what they'd make it look like if that were the case. That's how I've always justified this one, even if it's a stretch, but just seeing as how this took place over 20 years after the original movie's events, and obviously Michael Myers was big enough to have this crazy webcam show in his house that was all fake and stuff, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. And again, even if it is a stretch, the mask is still better than anything I've mentioned previously, and that's that. Rob Zombie's Halloween 1. It was hard whether or not to rank this mask higher, but I've got some reasons for the ones that will come after this, and I'll explain those later. Essentially, this was one of the only things Rob Zombie got right about Michael Myers. He made him scary again. He was intimidating, and the mask just worked. Starting with the pure white, brand new mask that we see Myers wear as a child on Halloween night, to the decrepit, rotting version of the same mask years and years later, this mask was scary without being forced in any way. It was as unintimidating out of context as any other mask of some guy's face, just like the original Myers mask back in the day, but when given some context, it becomes something more. They did this mask justice, and they also stepped out of the box by having a rotting version for the majority of Myers' screen time. So kudos to Rob for this. God knows he's not getting kudos for anything else, except maybe White Zombie. Halloween 4. Okay, maybe I am letting nostalgia get in the way and create a bit of a bias here, but this mask is not nearly as bad as it gets made out to be. Yes, some shots are insanely silly. Yes, he's wearing shoulder pads, and yes, George P. Wilbur wasn't the best Myers. But some shots of this mask are so fucking good and so underrated. Can we talk about how cool the mask looks when it's being stolen? That's it. That's as close as we would ever get to the mask used in H1 and H2 ever again. In the entire series. It's raw, it's crude, it's not something that you'd ever think was scary until context is given, just like the original. Or how about this quick shot after Myers impales old titty bitch with the shotgun? Amazing. And yes, I adore this movie. It is my next favorite in the series after H2, even beating out H1. I know, kill me. But it's so nostalgic for me. It was the first Halloween I ever saw, and it just reminds me so much of my childhood. Not just because I watched the piss out of this as a child, but because of the places in the film. They all feel like home. Desolate farmlands, wood-paneled walls, crappy gas stations, Vincent's drugstore. If you had told me back then that this movie was shot in or around my city, I would have 100% believed you. But this is becoming a tangent all on its own, so back to the topic at hand, and that is the mask. Aside from nostalgia, I do believe that this mask has some great visual presence that everyone overlooks because of the other things surrounding it. Is it the best? Absolutely not. Is it the worst? Hell no. But it's the last solid Halloween flick that we would get until 2018. It's the last time we would see a crudely made store-bought looking mask like the originals. And it's the last time that Shatner's life cast would be used to make a Myers mask. Halloween 2018. What can I say? It's just a good mask. Granted, this is not how a rotting mask would look. It wouldn't age like a human face, but I believe that this was done on purpose as symbolism for the aging of Mr. Myers as well. So I'm gonna let this one slide. Plus, it really does just look great. It's the best mask in the series since the original from H1 and H2. Combine this with James Jude Courtney's incredible mixture of H1 and H2 style movements, and a flawed but great movie, and this mask was bound to be at the top of the list. Halloween 1. Oh no, the millennial YouTuber ranked H1 lower than H2? Yeah, sue me. The mask is great here, almost perfect, but H2 takes the exact same mask and makes it better in every single way, along with the portrayal of Myers. So instead of talking about this in this manner, let's move right on to the top of my mask list with Halloween 2. Best mask, hands down. As I mentioned earlier, this mask takes the original mask because yes, it's the same mask from H1 and you aren't special for knowing that, and makes it even better. It's so much angrier looking, and all because of the head that it's sitting on. It's far dirtier, adding to the meanness and the crudeness. It's really just the perfect storm to take something as silly as a spray-painted Captain Kirk mask and turning it into something bigger than we could have ever imagined. Tack on the greatest portrayal of the shape ever, yes, even better than the original. I'm sorry, but there's no comparison here. Dick Warlock blows Castle out of the water. This evil, robotic, unhuman-like movement is exactly what Myers was missing from H1, and one of my biggest complaints about the first film. Nick was just kinda there. Warlock wanted the job, and it shows. Again, another tangent that we don't need to get on, because we are supposed to be focusing on the mask, and this mask is easily the most evil without even trying, and it is exactly how I want to envision Michael Myers. Alright guys, well there you have it, my ranking of the Michael Myers masks from worst to best. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments. Do you fully agree? Do you somewhat agree? Do you completely disagree? Did something that I said not make sense? Did I have good points? I want to hear what you guys have to say down in the comments, so make sure to leave one for me. I do read all of them. And I think that is going to be it for this video. So thank you guys very much for watching, and until next time, this has been AJ Good at the House of Masks telling you to say no to drugs and alcohol, and we'll see you guys later.
I hate AJ Good. 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 Yeah, I love I hate AJ Good. You need a fucking mask on, mask on. I hate AJ Good, so wanna ask for. It's me fucking popping wheelies, driving like the NASCAR. Mask on, mask on, mask on, mask on. You might see him off in traffic, he be moving around. I hate AJ Good, tagged it on.